Sounds good.
The world keeps spinning faster. Maybe I don't have to catch up. What if rest is not weakness? What if pause is not failure? Slow.
Hello, welcome everyone. Good morning, good evening for those who are in Europe. My name is Yasmin. I am your community catalyst here at Hylo. I'd love to know where everybody's calling in from. Just feel free to where you are calling in from, where you're located. Sound. My goodness. Okay, there we go. All right. Germany, we got LA, Egypt, amazing. Colorado, Minnesota, California, amazing. Germany, love it. Well, with me, we have Tibet and Aaron, my colleagues here at Hylo. Do you want to say hello briefly?
Hi, everyone. It's good to see you all.
Hey, hey, really good to be here.
Awesome. Well, how many people here are new to Hylo? How many, this is your first time? Welcome, Christian. Yay, beautiful. Well, yes, Siona, amazing. Beautiful. Welcome, everybody. Well, for those who are new to Hylo, this is Hylo is a community-led pro-social coordination platform for purpose-driven groups. So we have communities that span the globe, and our purpose is to activate the full potential of these groups so that we can create a flourishing future for all life. This is our mission here. And so, as always, we just share a brief high-low product update. So I'd love to invite Tibet to share about the new mobile app.
Yeah, thanks, Yasmin. Yeah, the biggest, most exciting update recently on the product front is that we released a new version of the mobile app maybe a little over a week ago. That should be much improved from the previous one. It fully aligns the user experience, navigation, and all of that with the web app. Has all of the features of the web app. So I know there were some things that were missing in the last one, like the ability to create proposals. So everything should be there now, and it should just work better. And it's also going to be much faster and easier for us to update and keep in sync with the web app moving forward. So that is a huge win for us. There may be some bugs and issues in the new version, so please report them. As always, the best place to report bugs is there's a little kind of question mark button at the bottom of the navigation menu, bottom left of Hylo. And that's the best place to get support and report bugs. And we always really appreciate when people actually do that so we can make sure we're fixing things for everyone in a timely manner. And yeah, that's kind of the biggest update on the product front right now. The other major one that's coming soon, which I know we've been mentioning for a while now, but this is a lot of testing to get this right, and we're getting very close to being ready to release our ability to offer paid group memberships as an option, or paid courses. So groups that want to will be able to charge a membership fee, and that's great, of course, for certain types of groups, membership groups, or content creators that want to offer courses. So yeah, very excited about that. That will be another major addition. And yeah, I think that's all I have to share today.
Amazing. Thank you. And yeah, feel free to download the app. We'd love to get your feedback and what you think. It looks great, very easy to use. So yay. All right. So up next, we're going to invite Mandy Magill onto the floor. And we are very excited to have the ERA ecosystem with us today, that's basically this integrated framework that is built for this moment of civilization transition. They work to capture the great wealth transfer through succession planning, redirecting asset cash flows into a commons fund for bioregional financing and grassroots regeneration. Welcome, Mandy. We're so excited to have you here. As always, I would love to hear just kind of what inspired this vision, how are we here?
Awesome. Thank you so much. And actually, I'm going to do a little bit of that in the presentation. And I just want to thank Hylo, first of all, for inviting us to present and everybody here, hello. And also just for creating such a life-aligned, beautiful community platform. It means so much. And so thank you so much for all the work. All right, so I know I've just got a little short period of time. So during this presentation, I will definitely be talking about the Living Commons, which is our community that we're hosting on Hylo. However, we want to give an overview, as Yasmin talked about, with the Earth Regeneration Alliance ecosystem, the ERA ecosystem, which TLC is a part of that, which is the Living Commons. Couple of notes, there are two other team members with me on this call, Ben Clark and Jared Firstall. They're going to be dropping some links in the chat for you. And I just want to give a little bit of a warning. This is going to be very fast and furious. It's only a small amount of time. There's a lot to fit in. I also, though, believe, and I don't think I've ever done such a crazy presentation like this, but people in the Hylo community are able to grasp this stuff because everybody's working in regeneration. So,
Hey, Mandy, I just want to
yes,
say you have
yes.
full permission to take as much time as you need. No
Oh,
rush.
really? Oh, I
Yes,
could
no
breathe a
rush.
little
You
bit?
can breathe. Yeah, take a breath. There's no rush. We're
Okay, I
creating
was thinking it.
civilization.
I was thinking it needed to be 10 minutes. Okay, well, I'll have a little bit more space, then I won't be as rushed. Yes, so first, why have we created the area ecosystem? So I spent 9 years prior to 2024 working on a lot of amazing regenerative things with a lot of amazing people in the current system, and just trying to get these things to happen. It ended up being very frustrating. And just a few examples are we ran a regenerative ag bill in the state of Colorado to help food and beverage source more locally and regeneratively. It passed through the Senate unanimously. It made it through the House really well, and we hit the wall with the House Appropriations Committee, where we didn't have any funding. This woman was like, "I love your bill, and we can't calendar it because we are in massive debt." And so it was a thing that what I realized was just how it was in the political system. And so I was like, okay, so that's an issue. I also worked on creating an app to help people source more locally and regeneratively and non-toxic food products and services. Worked on a really cool biological fire mitigation initiative in my hometown of Durango, Colorado, where we've had some major issues with wildfires here, and it's like that across the West, right? And even our fire departments in county were on board. And because our language didn't fit the extractive grant language, we couldn't receive funds to do with life-based mitigation, along with the fire departments that would have brought moisture holding capacity back to the land. And so, yeah, everything I worked on for 9 years failed, not because it wasn't desired, but because the current industrial extractive system is designed to make these regenerative life-aligned things fail, either by co-opting and diluting them or making them continue to struggle until they eventually fail, because there's only so much you can do on volunteer energy, right? So after so much struggle and frustration, two key things came to my mind in late 2024. I listen a lot to The Great Simplification by Nate Hagens. I know the TGS community is hosted on Hylo. And Nate talks a lot about the global industrial superorganism and how it continues to extract because that's how it was designed. Not because anyone meant for that to be the outcome, but because it has grown to such a global scale that anything that's meant to do anything positive in there really it's not happening, right? So that was one huge thing. And then aligned with that was that I was trained in holistic management with the Savory Institute and also holistic planned grazing back in 2023. And understanding the healthy closed loop ecosystem processes, along with the very important relationship of predators and prey in these arid grassland ecosystems, this is what dawned on me. Just like what Nate talks about with the industrial superorganism, I was like, we need a regenerative superorganism. We need to stop wasting our precious energy on fighting and trying to force really well-intentioned things into the current system that is not meant to support that kind of stuff. It's really only meant to extract. So I thought, all right, let's just leave the current industrial extractive system and create a new and ancient life-aligned system. And so that's really where ERA was born in late 2024. And so you might be thinking, well, cool. So how do we do this? The core is non-ownership and moving all energies back into the commons. This is not new, obviously. As all of us know, it's based on the kinship worldview, which all indigenous cultures across the world are based on. And when you think about it, it's really the enclosure of the commons a long time ago, and the top-down hierarchical extractive ownership models that were spread worldwide through colonization, and that fractured life itself. So as the response, it's like, all right, well, let's move all of these energies, human, land, water, money, whatever, back into the commons, because that's where they originated before this crazy level of extraction started happening. So the core of ERA is the ERA Commons. All funding will flow in and out of the ERA Commons. We're utilizing Open Collective, another amazing platform that Hylo uses, and we love them because it allows us to do that transparent collective financial stewardship. The ERA Commons is also a place to gather tools and resources that are needed to decentralize and relocalize into hyperlocal bioregional systems. And so as you listen to the rest of this, keep in mind that there's going to be so much funding moving through the ERA Commons because it is 100% flow funding. It's how nature functions. It mimics the hydrologic cycles on the planet, that aligned people and entities are going to be able to be funded to do regenerative work. And this is something that we're all able to steward this together. So then you might be thinking, well, how do we hold, align, and protect that? Okay, well, that would be the ERA Purpose Trust, which was signed into existence August 8 of 2025. It is a mission-locked 365-year Nevada public benefit purpose trust. The purpose is to realign humanity's relationship with all life on Earth. It is owned by no one, and therefore it is owned by all life. And I'm talking soil microorganisms all the way to the whales, And what's really cool is it's very flexible. It can hold real estate portfolios and businesses and IP and land and more. And the alignment pathway of this aggregation vessel is a regenerative succession pathway. And this is to guide the great wealth transfer that's currently happening. It's $84 trillion that needs to move to younger generations now. And it allows us to do that through the commons and fund community and planetary regeneration. So the wealth from the assets that can be held in the Purpose Trust will flow into the ERA Commons. Now, so that was the first entity. Now there's the Living Commons, TLC, hosted on Hylo. This is a community for earth-caring people who feel the current global system's failing. It's a refuge and stewardship hub where inner healing and earth healing become one, nourishing inner resilience, restoring purposeful belonging, and co-creating life-aligned systems together. This is where the spiritual and consciousness movement meet the regenerative movement. It's a multi-generational space for nervous system regulation and finding our common ground together. It's the first LLC owned by the ERA Purpose Trust, and membership is based on a gift economy starting at $1 a month. And it allows all funding to flow into the commons. So if there are people out there who are like, I want to spend $1,000 a month, great, because it all goes into the commons, not into any one person's pocket. And there are optional TLC tracks for those who want to go deeper as well, which are Life Aligned, Steward, Bioregional, and Planetary tracks. After those tracks, TLC members can move into ERA partners with like regenerative entrepreneurship and initiatives and projects. And also the TLC calendar is open for aligned orgs and entities to run educational workshops and book and discussion clubs. And we want to do mini concerts because there's a lot of musicians that were, wanting to get in there to do fun, like enlivening things. So we're really excited about TLC. It's just fantastic. And it's going now. We started it January 3rd of this year. The third entity is Rooting Local. This is a nonprofit that we are currently creating. And we are right now talking to a really amazing aligned fiscal sponsor that we are nearing the end of the discussion of actually becoming fiscally sponsored by them. So it would allow us to move very quickly. So here's what's really cool is not only can Rooting Local be funded by the typical philanthropic pathways, donor advised funds, all of those things, it can also be funded from the Era Commons. Boom! We have now broken the current extractive process that nonprofits get stuck in, which is always crossing their fingers that from year to year they're going to have the funding to keep doing such amazing work. And so it breaks that extractive cycle. And this is something that off of the Era Commons, like I said, so much will be moving through there that this can support a lot of stuff that is in life alignment. We are planning a national activation tour later this summer to work with a bioregional financing facility that is really ready for the support and funding that Rooting Local and Era can provide. We're going to travel with a content team. This is going to be me, Jared, and Ben, so that we can get info out to the public immediately. The core of this first tour is going to be supporting the BFF team that we're connected with and the 10 food hubs that they already have in their network. The goal is to co-create with the place-based BFF a pathway for local regenerative nutrient-dense foods to make it into schools. So we will create a national 1% kids fund based on the 1% for Planet fund. And it can also be done at the local and bioregional level as well. But what's cool is like once the current institutional procurement barriers are dealt with via this inaugural program, so much more potential opens up for the holding and circulation of basic human needs on hyperlocal and bioregional levels. Embedded, very importantly, embedded in the support that Rooting Local will provide will be Savory Institute's holistic management framework so that communities can really move into holistic context and decision-making for shared goals. Because, yes, it's all in us to like work with each other and want to be aligned, and the current systems really limit that, right? They keep us siloed and competitive. So it helps us to have this framework that helps us move back into that. All right, fourth entity, Spend for Regen. This is rerouting everyday choices into life-aligned systems. It's a business that's currently in process. It will be owned by the Era Purpose Trust as well. We're currently looking at two main focuses. One will be an app that will use affiliate and partner links. We have one with Amazon right now, so that a percentage of all spending, current spending, flows into the commons. So it's basically using the current industrial system to fund the new one that we want to see. And there are 3 tiers of sourcing where current spending that's more extractive, like Amazon and these big box entities, we can utilize affiliate links or money coming off of those into the commons. Also, there are bridge entities like big entities like Zero Waste Store that we have a partnership with as well. That's more life aligned stuff, and they're big and they have an affiliate program, so we can utilize that. And then the goal is to really be supporting these hyper local and bioregional entities like a local refill shop and local regenerative restaurants and food hubs, and so we can utilize the funding coming off of everything coming into the commons to fund hyperlocal businesses that are doing really cool stuff. All right, fifth one is Era Ventures. This is a fund, an investment fund and venture studio hub that will also be owned by the Era Purpose Trust. Profits from these businesses that will be invested into of these life-aligned businesses, those profits will also flow into the commons. So that way we're creating that consistent flow of funding. And also what's really cool is the trust creates protection from extraction. So, I mean, how many businesses have we seen get co-opted, right? It's like they get noticed, they get big, and we're like, oh, I really liked that brand, but now I can't really trust whether or not their ethos is still in place. And so it keeps aligned businesses from being bought out by unaligned entities that would otherwise dilute the mission and redirect the profit flows to shareholders. Okay, so tying this all together. This cannot fail, as everybody in here knows, because this is based on nature's wisdom and indigenous wisdom. So what's really cool is we're re-entering the complexity of nature, which actually simplifies everything. It's so much fun too. And it's really the current siloed industrial system that's keeping us struggling. So we're like, nah, we're done with that. Let's go over here. And so, yeah, I know most of you are going to easily grasp this and be like, hell yes, this is awesome. And I want to say we're not doing everything. Like, our goal is to just be holding the space, the protective, aligned space for the emergence and the evolution of this, so that we can do this work together. And so let us know if you want to be involved in any way. We'd love for you to join TLC. We have, I think the guys have probably thrown this into the chat, but we have a deeper dive video that is on the earthregenerationalliance.com website under the ERA ecosystem. We're going to be doing node videos as well, so you can actually see the nitty gritty of like the purpose trust and spin for regen and all these things. So anyway, okay, that does it. Thank you so much. I know that was a lot.
That was amazing. I would love to see if anyone has any questions for Mandy. We'll take a few questions here. Feel free to raise your hand. Aaron.
I'm so blessed and impressed and just totally inspired by what you all are up to. Um, yeah, my question is around the purpose trust. How did you design that structure and what's it like?
I'm going to let Jared talk so you guys can hear somebody else from the team. Jared, do you want to talk about the purpose trust?
Sure. The purpose came through a long process with Ross Hostetter, who is the Global Counsel for Savory Institute and Humanity's team, if you're familiar with those organizations. He did a lot of research to figure out what type of trust vehicle or vessel would be best for this mission. Uh, and yeah, we ended up on the public benefit trust. Three trust stewards are essentially like those trust protectors, like a board of director team that make decisions for what trustees are going to be a part of the operating side of this. And so it's Mandy, Ross, and a wonderful woman named Myra Jackson, who's very involved in the rights of nature movement. Um, and so I'm the first trustee. I kind of do the operation side of things. I'm running the day to day. And so as this thing grows, we'll get trustees that are specifically talented in areas like real estate, or actually running businesses. And so right now it's a very small team that is, working on these initial launches, Spend for Regen, Living Commons, and the nonprofit won't be owned. It can't be owned, so it won't be an owned part of this ecosystem, but it will be a partner of it and receive funds as made. So that's fun. It's been really well. And the beautiful thing of this is that it is not on any one person to make decisions. It is on the purpose of the purpose trust to be the thing that is making the decisions and ensuring that every decision being made is aligned with the purpose of the purpose trust. And so, yes, there is a huge human element of this. We have to stay aligned with the purpose of the purpose trust, but there is a guiding document that feels like a constitutional element of this. So yeah, it's going well.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jared.
Chuck, you're next.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so excited to be on this call. And it's just, I've been looking for this all my life, back from Bucky Fuller days. But
Yep.
Yeah.
two questions. One, the thing that I've been pushing through Rotary International and about a dozen other global focused organizations is the idea of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals as a holistic, comprehensive, synergistic approach to dealing with prevention of most of the crap that's happening today around the world. And on top of that, I actually met my wife in Colorado State University 50 years ago.
Me too. I went there.
So we were, our first date was a 100-mile bike ride regarding the 250th anniversary, or the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. So 250th anniversary is coming up. And I know this won't appeal to the international folks, but I've got two projects going. One is 250 project, which is it's just an idea whose time has come. We're about 300 years overdue from inalienable rights, the laws of nature and of nature's God, to put those things together. It's so simple. Take care of nature, take care of each other. It's not complicated. No, it's not rocket. Actually, it is rocket science. We want to get our to another planet. But the idea being that there's so much opportunity for action, and I come across so much resistance from the organizations I have worked with for 45 years. I was elected chair of the United Nations Association Council of Organizations. There was peace groups, environmental groups, and economic and social justice groups. They compete with each other all the time. And the thousands of organizations within it do the same thing. And they wonder why we don't get anywhere. Anyway, so I'm really excited, and I want to be in further contact with you because I could not take notes as fast as you could speak. And I really want to talk with you about that, another question and some other ideas. So I'll leave it at that. My email address is chuck@igc.org if anybody wants to get in communication, because I've got a network of about 21,000 organizations and people over the last 45 years that really, and probably half of them are dead now, but the idea that they're into this. And anyway, I'm so excited.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Chuck. And I just want to add to that it's like, yeah, that's the ability for how much money is going to move through the air commons is like it also moves us out of like founder and owner syndrome, situation. So it's like, because ultimately these founders and owners do want to do good stuff, but it's like the thing that we've been stuck in of like, but this is mine. So it's like, as people kind of start to let go of that and can move into this, funding can flow into all of that so that we move out of that thing of being siloed and having to all compete over the same funding sources. That goes away. So yay, awesome.
All
And
right.
Cynthia, is she
Cynthia.
next?
Mhm.
Hi, thank you. I was a little unclear on distribution of funds. So could you maybe use healthcare as an example? Like in the US right now, healthcare is changing and evolving, and there's now a move, with Western states because of what's going on politically. There are a lot more regional and local initiatives going on. So how in a topic like healthcare, or I advocate also for a specific disease, the one that I have, how would money be distributed through this? And can you give it to people as well as nonprofits, maybe providers? It would be a different model. Even in Oregon, we're moving right now where, they're trying to put together a universal healthcare system, but that needs out of the box components as well. So
Yeah. Yeah,
like
and
I've
I'm
heard
gonna
of perpetual purpose trusts, but I'm not sure that that's what you're talking about. So yeah, I'm kind of more interested on the distribution end of all this.
Yeah. So two things. I'm gonna have Jared fill in on this, but so
Mhm.
there's perpetual purpose trust, and then there's the public benefit trust. They're both purpose
Okay.
trusts. The benefit trust is um, guided towards like making sure it's doing good as well as
Uh-huh.
holding and aligning. Purpose trust, perpetual purpose trusts are more around like a business that wants to stay mission locked. And so they both can play really well together. So
Okay.
that's a little bit of clarity on that. And then the other piece is absolutely with what you're speaking to, because as we move into this, the bioregional financing facilities and having the different nodes, we can create access funding that are stewarded by that area for
Uh-huh.
food and healthcare and all these
Mhm.
things because you're back into local relationship and needs. So, Jared, do you want to fill in a little bit on the insurance? Because we are actually working with a really cool insurance entity who's doing something very different. Jared.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to communicate it as to how healthcare works. I think um, I'm
It doesn't is the problem.
I'm
Sorry.
not sure
Yeah,
what,
so
I don't know how to really relate those two. But what I can say
yeah.
is in everything we're doing, we're mirroring nature, or doing our best at mirroring
Mhm.
nature. As nature does, it is very decentralized. It's very
Yeah.
autonomous. And so what we're not trying to do is have this ecosystem be a center that other nodes depend on. We want sovereignty to be at the core of this. And so everything that we do is to empower other nodes, bioregional financing facilities, other organizations, other groups of people, other communities to be completely from this ecosystem. We are not trying to create any sort of dependency. And so the thing in this is how do we take what nature has provided us from a wisdom standpoint, take a bioregion, create a financing facility like Bio has so eloquently described, and empower that group of people with resources and connections to ensure that they are able to distribute funds and resources and energy that truly makes a systemic. And that money flows into those communities and those projects that are in relationship with people that are there, not with us. We can't possibly do all of that. So it's really about how do we empower the people who are in place rather than do it ourselves, if that makes
And when you
sense.
say people, does that mean you can, it could, there's a model that you can give to individual people as well as organizations, as well as local
Absolutely.
government? Okay, that's,
Absolutely. Yeah. It's really like, I mean, it really comes down to the holistic context. What is the context of this bioregion or this area? And
mm,
what are the best decisions to make for it? And that's what will guide where the money goes. And if that's to individuals, great. If that's to organizations, great. It is really like, how do we take away as many barriers as possible? And that's why I think generation is such an important part of this. If we're constantly relying on philanthropy to fund, we are constantly restricted by how that money can move.
yeah,
Generate all wealth, this movement. We can allocate that money however we want, and that's really how we can really start taking on the barriers of this movement.
okay.
Yeah,
I
and
get a better idea where you're going. Thank you very, very much. Yeah,
Okay.
but I think healthcare is something that's not talked about, but it's moving
Mhm.
regionally. It's a broken system in this country. And so it's going to be part, I think, somehow, at different
Yeah.
levels in these things moving forward. So I just wanted to
yeah,
bring that up too. Thanks.
yeah, thank you, Cynthia. And also remember the Era Commons is not just funding, it's also tools and resources because look at all of our networks. Like everybody's doing amazing work, and this is a place where we can gather that. We're not
Yeah.
creating all this stuff. We're just wanting to hold that. I like to call it a squishy bubble.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm showing my age here probably, but I'm 70. And so I've worked in kind of on the progressive end of a lot of things as we move forward. And sometimes the one thing we forget is where is action taking place and change. So I just hope that you think about that because a lot of good ideas have failed, I think, because we forgot like, oh, well, we're going to do all these great things and then somewhere there's no one to take the action and help make the change, so the human, and I think indigenous culture, very much modeled change in I had the privilege of handling an indigenous leadership award decades ago. And so I learned a lot, but I do think there are still leaders, there's still change,
Yes.
so I think that that's just an important concept to remember. So thanks so much.
Yeah.
Good work. Keep going.
All right,
Thank you.
Gary, you're up next.
Gary.
Gary, you're muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm Gary Alexander. I've lived in England for about 50 odd years, but I'm a New Yorker originally, working on community projects. And I mean, I think what you've been saying is fantastic stuff, but it seems to me largely about funding. I wanted to check. My understanding is that the movement is a bottom up. We're starting at the community level, self-governing communities, decisions made at the bottom level where the people who make the decisions are those who are involved. Is that generally what everyone is into? People, yes, is that what it is? And
Absolutely.
so we have it, and it's basically it's for people and the natural world, as our goal is not for money. So it's a lot about volunteering. We're going for our own local exchange system. Is that, and there's an offers and wants in Hylo. We're using Hylo. Um, is that agreed? That's the sort of thing? Our own local exchange system. So we bypass the banks. We reward volunteering by the free stuff goes to the people who've been communities, goes to the people who support the community. Is that the base? How we're all working? I think we are collectively inventing this new society and building it from the ground up. That's what makes it so exciting. And I'm 83 actually. I've been working on this for God knows how many years, and it just seems to me it's finally taking off. Everyone, people I meet who don't know anything about it, suddenly say, "Oh yes, that's right. That's great." And I'm getting more people. I don't have to explain it to people. They just take it for granted. Is that other people's experience?
Yeah.
Isn't that fantastic? And what I need actually is um, I need to build my technical team. Um, there are bits of it which are absolutely have to be local. We're taking on a little store in our town center, which is not going to be selling things. It's going to be about help and looking after the children and co-working and stuff like that. But we're one of the forms of help we want to build our own local social network with probably made out of Hylo and WordPress, but I would like some advice from somebody who's a sort of experienced organizational level techie. And if anybody would be interested in that, please message me.
I'm barely listening.
And
Okay.
I'm just about finished. And could I get sort of some mentoring on Hylo? Someone to sort of hold my hand as I help me set it up for our project. Um, I've had a nice chat with Tibet about that a couple of months ago, and is there any? Sorry, Tibet. Who did you mention that probably could help?
Mhm.
Is it
Yes.
Jasmine? Jasmine? Yasmin.
Yasmin.
Mhm.
Yeah, Krisha on our team is the one who often helps with the onboarding support. So we'd be happy to do a
Yes.
call with you, Gary, and help onboard onto the platform.
Yes, maybe a sort of tour and also answer all sorts of questions. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Thanks very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Brandon.
Hello. So I'm interested in what you're talking about, and I was wondering about the mapping and data infrastructure that you're using. And I know that Hylo has some of this, and I was actually looking into some of this here, like how there could be mapping infrastructure for land-based projects, and other ways in which we need to organize the data and how those are connected to each other. And so this could be, I did some research on this last year. I published some of it, and I was actually just today going to look into more of it because I know that there's some people who are working on projects here, and we don't want them to compete with each other. And there's probably ways in which there could be cooperation. So I don't know if you are already working on anything like this, or you're drawing from some infrastructure that provides bioregional mapping and maybe how it connects with other kinds of information sources and automations and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that question. And that's the idea with the commons is like gathering a nest of like tech options that are you can utilize for, what the context is. It's like whether you're looking at like how do we manage for this health of this riparian zone or how do we do this agricultural stuff over here. Yeah, and also there's a really cool entity called Rhizosphere that is doing basically a LinkedIn and Airbnb had a baby kind of a situation for the food system to help do the decentralized work of how do we manage all of this complexity of moving back into bioregional food system stuff. So yeah, absolutely. It's all about gathering all of the aligned entities, and also it's helping us to deal with a lot of the duplication that happens. You might have 5 or 10 orgs that are working on different kinds of tech, and it's like, what if we just combined our efforts since you're no longer having to compete for funding and you can be taken care of, and then combine our brains on that as well. So there's just lots of potential for doing that. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's
And I
also
think, yeah, go ahead.
there's also a great uh, tool called Field Doc that was made by the Commons. And it's essentially like you can take an entire region, circle it, and it will tell you exactly what type of regenerative techniques are necessary to bring that area or that land back to life, watershed, whatever it might be. And we're in close relationship with that organization as well. But if you're looking for like a actual grassroots, how do we, regenerate or restore this piece of land specifically, that is a fantastic tool. And I dropped that in the chat as well.
Incredible. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Mandy, so much for being with us today. It was so filled that I'm like, I just kept it going instead of doing our group activity, which maybe we'll actually, I'm curious to hear from all of you, just kind of, in your communities that you're a part of, like what does mutual aid look like? So currently at the whether you're part of a community or steward in a community, and what new possibilities do you see or are you inspired to activate? So maybe we'll take a minute to reflect on this question, and maybe let's all put our response in the chat just so that we can see what people are thinking about. So let's take 1 minute, 2 minutes to reflect on this question together.
Running on empty again. Can't remember when it began. The world keeps spinning faster. Maybe I don't have to catch up. What if rest is not weakness? What if pause is...
All right. I see some people sharing already. Anyone would like to just jump in and respond, and that way we can hear you live. Tibet.
Yeah, I'll share a couple things. One in my own mutual aid efforts in my community, and then also just on the Hylo front. One of the things that's been really rewarding and feels important that I've been doing over the last few months is organizing a local disaster prep effort in my neighborhood, like hyper local, 100 houses on just a few blocks. And we're sort of early in the process, and it's just about building relationships. There's like 7 of us that are now working together. We're about to distribute a bunch of surveys to all the houses, both by paper and email, and gather information about the households and how they want to participate, and start to gather some energy and put together a plan for the neighborhood. Make sure everyone knows where to go and what to do, and maybe or start gathering resources for supplies. And it feels more and more relevant and important. And also, it's just such a great way to build relationships and get to know each other. And we're going to help everyone learn where their gas shutoff is and make sure they have their go bag ready and all of that. And I also just wanted to mention that mutual aid is one of the big focuses for Hylo in the coming year. We want to really build on the asks and offers functionality that we have. And, I think there's so much desire and need, both for just ongoing, like buy nothing groups and the type of disaster prep I'm talking about, but also in the wake of a disaster, being able to spin up systems to really easily distribute what needs to be distributed and work with existing organizations. There aren't great tools for that. And they're tools that like spin up in Google Docs and then kind of disappear. And so we think Hylo can become a really powerful home for mutual aid of all different kinds. And we're excited to work on that and get your feedback on it and ideas over the coming months.
Thank you, Tibet. Awesome. Anyone else would like to share? We still have some. Chris.
It's in that same spirit over the weekend on Saturday at Bloom House, which is in East Palo Alto. It's the Emerson Collective's community center. It's the 1 year anniversary of the East Palo Alto Organic Farm. And they did a community emergency training program with the county in the morning. And there are all these groups that we're partnering with did their booths and everything. But how do we get more people? How do we get it actually engaged where people at the neighborhood level, at the block level, have a representative leader? So this is the model that we're putting in place. And inside each community, they have great needs for mutual aid. They had a mobile food truck that had all this incredible produce, and there was still 2/3 of it was left. So there's all this resources, but how do people know about it? And then how did they then do mutual aid between the communities? So that's a big part of our program for this year and into next year. So great alignment, Tibet. I'm looking forward to talking with you because mutual aid has come up for these groups as well.
Very cool. Thank you, Chris. Cynthia.
Yeah, one of the things I advocate for is my disease, MECFS, that impacts people of all ages. It's a very disabling multi-system disease, and now the organizations are working together. They have a hashtag, and so actually this is the advocacy week, and this year for national organizations, but two that have advocated separately in the past are now working together at the state and local levels, on medical education and different things. So to make sure that people are taught about the disease. So it's a different kind of example, but there's individual advocates, which is often how it starts. And then they work with separate organizations, and now the organizations are working together, and it's easier then to pull the advocates from the different organizations together. So it's evolving in a good direction of cooperation. And then now some of the nonprofits on special education, they will fund a project the other one is working in, maybe from their general funds. It's rare when there's not a lot of money, but that's being done too. So, they're using their resources together when it's applicable. And, and that has happened in research too, or in materials for the public. So, and I just wanted to say to Tibet real quick, I live in a city, but it was that's about 40,000. I think it's a suburb in Portland, but all the emergency things that have been going on started with a grassroots group of individuals. And then a committee I was on, we were interested, in emergency planning, and it now evolved into official, it actually does evolve in the right direction. So I'm really glad to hear you're working on emergency planning at the local level, because it's something that can go up pretty rapidly when people start working together and are interested. So yeah, if you ever want to, you know where to find me. But yeah, we've actually had a lot of interest and a lot of growth in even a city in emergency planning. So, but it started, I think, with a few people like you're doing. So,
Thank you, Cynthia. Awesome. Jesse.
Hi. Yeah, so I'm in Australia and it's 3 a.m. here. So Brislets has been part of the community exchange. So Michael Linden in Canada, I think about 83 or so, when the sawmills closed down, realised all the communities were still functioning, but the only thing different was there was no money. And he started the local local energy trading system. So instead of using money, using time, energy, and skills. And so we call ours units. Different lets use different names for their energy. So Tim Jenkins put it online, started in South Africa, and so it's still going. So it's about 1,100 different exchanges around the world. And so we've had people travel around the world using LETs. In Brisbane here, we've got transition towns, we've got tool libraries. There's a lot happening similar to what you're talking about. So that people are talking about how to connect, but could be a way to use that. So, and it's closed. The energy stays in the communities, and it's amazing how many units get exchanged for very little, because we're an aging thing. And my issue is trying to actually get new people in. I've been putting on Nextdoor and other places. So it's having the person that's be able to do the communication. That's what I find. I can do all the other stuff, but it's that communication. So people like you, Mandy, that's got amazing skills at talking and sharing. That's the resource that I find that we really need.
Awesome. Amazing. Thank you, Jesse, for sharing. Rob.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting language, because language becomes so politicized. Mutual aid is something that, oh God, it's commie, it's red, it's far too left, but it's at the root of community development, and it's about sharing and trusting. And I guess that's what I wanted to say. Sorry, I'll waffle. But I wanted to reflect what somebody else said earlier. I can't remember who it was. But I often think of organizations, communities, more to the point, such as this. And the individuals within them we're starlings. This is the way I try and think. I picture it in this way. Starlings form murmurations. Occasionally, a starling will step out or fly out of the murmuration and have a rest. And we need to be there for that resting starling in order for the murmuration to continue to grow and develop and reach its goal, whether it's migrating or whatever, nesting. And I think what's happening all over the world is communities like this one. I also work closely with the Global Compassion Coalition, Action for Happiness, and Charter for Compassion. I'm very isolated, so mostly I get my food from meetings like this, and then go out and try and just have a conversation, really. Because I think that's how anything starts, really. It's always been the same. Coffee shops all over the world, certainly in this country, in the UK, have brought about incredible change. And I think the change we're talking about is important as a step towards transformation, because ultimately we are developing slightly fragmented, but that's the way it is, a parallel polis, as Vaclav Bender called it, where we're developing something outside the system, waiting, although we're not waiting, I think hospicing the dying system that we are part of. And we are developing an alternative, one which will be ready when this one that is dying no longer functions at all. At the moment, we are going through a birthing process. Sorry, tell me to stop if I'm waffling. We are going through a birthing process, and that is incredibly painful. Giving birth is something I certainly, as a bloke, don't want to do, because it's bloody, it's messy, and people die sometimes. But that's what we're doing. We are giving birth to a new civilization. That's what I truly believe. All this conversation, some of it's baffling, some of it isn't. What is important is the action. And that's it. I could waffle on forever. Sorry.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate your perspective. I know that Tom wanted to share about this gathering that's coming up in Denver. Do you want to take a moment to share about that?
Yes. Thank you, Yasmin and Tibet. What I love about the efforts of Hylo is we're laying down the mycelial network that this can come to fruition, the ideas and the values we hold. I would interject the quality of connection we make will be an attractant so that it becomes vibrant and self-sustaining. Um, I represent the Interworld Conference of North America, and the title we're doing is Closer to Coherence. And that speaks to the quality of connection that we're becoming capable of as a community. And we have 61 speakers coming, and they were all challenged to generate resonant energy that goes beyond the stage, and it feeds the people in attendance, because we know that it is in all those discussions in the lounges, the bathrooms, at lunch, where the real networking happens. And so that's what we're doing, is really trying to up our game and help people become mindful of, how do you show up? How do you connect? So hopefully you'll come. You're not just coming to listen, you're coming to participate in this new way of connecting. So I love these efforts by Hylo. This is part of the infrastructure that's going to bring this to fruition and really make an impact. People are hungry for connection, and the values are right. We're in alignment. Now we need to make it happen. Thank you, Yasmin, and thank you, Tibet.
Thank you, Tom. And yeah, make sure, I think Brandon just put the link in the chat for the upcoming events as well. Jeff, hello.
Hey there. How you guys doing?
Great.
Yay. It's always good to see you guys. I just wanted to put something really quick. I know we're close to the end of the call. Love everything everyone's doing. I'm hosting an event in April, and I realized, oh, it's going to happen before the next community call. And so, for those that don't know me, I run something called the Rising Foundation. We've been giving grants since 2018 to some incredible social change makers that are out there doing things in the world in a new way. And we're hosting a summit in April, and I'm going to drop the link in there so you can register and sign up. It's going to be in Zoom. And come hear about. We're convening this gathering of the groups we've given grants to, and we're going to talk about things the foundation is up to. And they're going to share about their work so people can plug in and replicate this, and we can scale this and take it across the planet because we need to. So come be with us April 19th. The link for the Luma event is in the chat.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff, for sharing about it. Let's see. So before we end the call, I just want to take a group photo. So if you don't have your camera on, I just would love to invite you for a couple seconds. We do a countdown. Yay, so good to see all of you. All right, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Yay. So our next community call is going to be April 27th, next month. So I'm just going to put that in the chat here. And let's see, I'm just going to put that. And also put in the link for Building Hylo in case you haven't joined. And let's see. All right. And I think if anyone want to stay a little bit, a couple more minutes, I think I can do a little demo on the platform if that's useful. Yes. And if not, we can, yeah, okay. I see a few hands up. So I'll just do a brief demo. Feel free to go if you already know Hylo, but if you just want to do a little overview of the platform, I'll stay on for an extra 10 minutes. All right. Have a beautiful day, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Yasmin.
Everybody.
Yay. Bye, everyone. I'll take a minute.
You're just fine.
Cool. All right. Let's dive in. So I just sent you all the link for Building Hylo. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen here and kind of walk you through the platform. There we go. Can you see my screen? Perfect. So this is built in Hilo. On my left navigation bar, you see all the different communities that I'm part of. Hilo Climate Commons, community organizers. So this is where I can like switch back and forth between different communities. Once you go into one community, like the first thing that you see is kind of like a general chat, which is the homepage, and that could be customizable. You can have it be a stream, it could be a chat or whatever you would like. And this is a place where you can introduce yourself, say hello, ask questions, share updates, and so forth. So this stream looks similarly to a feed like Facebook or other platforms, but we could make a post, you can do a discussion, you can do an offer request, you can share about a project, you can do an event, or even have a proposal. So this is kind of the experience to do that, and you can make it public. You can also share it in one group or multiple groups if you're part of different groups as well. And that enables like the cross platform sharing. And let's see, what else can I show you? This is our calendar of all of the events that are happening over the next couple months. And you could have a different view, like you could have a card view, large grid, small grid, calendar, and so forth. Let's go into the members. This is kind of the member directory where you can search for people and find each other. So I can search by name or skills. So let's say if I'm interested in agriculture, then it will show me all of the people who have tagged that in their profile. So I'm able to, there we go. This is Aaron Brodeur. I'm able to kind of understand like what his skills, what his interest, what groups he's part of, and I can send him a note and just say, hi. There we go. So this is the messaging. So on the platform, this is where you could send a message and find each other, say hello. So if you heard something interesting today, you can just go and search their name and in built-in Hilo specifically, and you can connect with each other. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, so this is where I can edit the menu. So I could have a customizable menu and view in my group. So when you're first creating the group, it will basically tell you how to customize the different views. So we have prioritized the chat as our main view, and then ways to direct you around just bag feature request and how to, just some tutorials around Hilo. I think I'm gonna maybe pause here for a moment and then we can just take questions. And if there's a specific feature that you want me to double click on, then we could do that. Let me know if you have any questions so far. Chris.
Great to be here, Yasmin. Thank you for this. So just to give you a scenario, there's 3 neighborhood community teams adjacent to each other geographically. They're also part of one organization. So how can each team have their own kind of tight group? And inside of that, they can post projects, they can invite people from their neighborhood. I mean, how would that end up looking? And can they make decisions together about prioritizing a project? And so they all are part of one organization, Climate Resilient Communities. But we want to, and we're bringing this to them later on this week, is to give them the presentation. And so with what you just shared, they want to allow their members to make joint decisions. Do you have that tool as a possibility so they can like vote on stuff?
Yeah, we have proposals, and it's not like there's anything legally binding about them, but
Yeah.
there's basic decision making tools, and if you create a proposal, you can. It's very flexible, so you could have a poll, which is more gathering sentiment, or it could be here are the 3 options. You can pick one of them, or 3 of them. Um, it's very, very flexible decision making tool set. Um, the hardest part is after the decision is made, as from your experience, you know that quite well. Um, so yeah, I mean, and getting geographic groups set up is not hard either. You can set up geographic boundaries inside the app, inside the group settings. But ultimately, it's when people are coming into the group, you're still going to have to screen them to make sure they're in the right place. And then you have those three groups. Let's say they're in different neighborhoods next to each other. You may want to join those groups together into a regional group, and that would be a fourth group that the three neighborhood groups join.
Yep, exactly.
And the way those sort of nested groups work is that the child groups, those neighborhood groups, the members in those groups can see the parent group, which is the region, and join it automatically. Whereas people outside of the network of groups would still maybe have to request to get in. So there's kind of a more easy flow of people and information if you're inside of the network as opposed to outside. I hope that's.
I love it. I love it. These groups meet monthly in each of their cities, and they always hand out physical paper of all the events, but they don't have anything online that shows the calendar. And so this is such a perfect fit. It will say paper. They'll be able to easily get access to the information. I'm thrilled. This is a perfect fit. So what you guys have developed is meeting exactly where the community's at. So it's awesome.
Sending
Awesome,
you
man.
blessings, Chris. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you got it.
Gary, do you want to ask a question?
Yes. So I think you partially answered that. I was wondering about nested groups. And can we have groups with subgroups and sub-subgroups and sub-subgroups? How many levels does it have? Or it sounds like one level at least, but more than that?
You can have as many groups inside of groups as you want.
Within those groups.
And groups within the groups. So each group is considered its own group. We do have plans for the concept of to instantiate something called a subgroup, which would be an entirely contained group that is not a full group. But each group has the same settings and the same roles and responsibilities and the same tools and abilities, and can join any other group or be joined by any other group.
Okay, I probably need somebody to hold my hand to see how to actually do that.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
What can you have things like messages that are read only, so that like a resource rather than the start point of a discussion, or maybe a real read only message with voting on it.
All posts on the platform have the ability to comment. We do have plans to have a toggle for the post creator to be able to turn off commenting. It's not implemented yet, but basically nobody's going to be able to edit the content of the original post, and people will be able to discuss anything that's posted. There is the one caveat might be an announcement, and Yasmin, you might know more about announcements than I do actually, but it's possible that announcements don't have comments on them.
You have a separate category called comments, called announcements.
There is the ability to send an announcement to the whole group, and I'm just going to go check this right now.
That would be good.
But in general, the model as it's been has been conversational. So everything has the ability to receive comments from the community. Christian.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Christian from Germany. I'm representing a community that is of dialogue facilitators, and we want to do a burn, we want to have an event, online event, very people are also sharing their services and receiving services, trading in an enclosed manner. Like there's no money flowing, there's nothing going out of the burn, but everything is contained inside. So I wanted to ask, first of all, is Hylo a platform for that? And are there even possibly any economic systems of exchange or anything in that direction?
We have talked about implementing a mutual credit currency. We're still in the early stages of figuring out how to do that in a way that is in integrity and actually helps people to accomplish the goals. We have asks and offers as a type. There's no algorithm matching yet. So this we find that people who succeed best at this are facilitating a process, and so giving clear instructions about you know if the group is about sharing what we need and offering help, making that explicit as part of the agreements and giving people instructions really helps people to know what to do. Because at least here in the US, there's a lot of cultural hesitancy around asking for help and or even offering help because of perceived vulnerability or social risk. And so having a good facilitator can really help bring out people out of their shells. And if you're in the Burning Man community and you have that ethos, you're probably not going to struggle as much with that, but it's still not always easy to know what I need and how to ask for it. And so having facilitation we found is very helpful. And the way you can set this up in Hylo is you can set up a view that can only display asks and offers, and you can set instructions and give people instructions on how to post or give them ideas about what they might ask for or offer or what is an acceptable thing to offer, if it's a skill, if it's a a resource of some kind. And yeah, each post could have a picture or a video. um, is that helpful?
Yeah, very much. Thank you.
Anybody
And
else?
just wanted to mention that you can join the Building Hilo group. It is open, so I just put the link in the chat for you.
Just a quick additional comment in reply to Aaron about a mutual credit system. I've been very interested in that for many years. I've got a friend who's built quite a lightweight one. His name is John Waters. If you're interested, I could give you a link to him. He's basing it on viable systems, very deeply nested exchange system.
I would love to learn more. Yeah,
So
I'll share my email address in the channel.
okay.
And I'm also just going to share with all of you the Git book that has a lot of like information as well on how to navigate the platform, and it's a very useful tool to also dive into on your own. Great. Yay. Well, thank you all so much for staying an extra 15 minutes. So good to be with all of you today.
Thank you. Happy spring, everybody.
Happy spring. See you next month.
Thanks all.
Thanks,
Great month,
Aaron.
everybody. I always love extra time.
Yeah, me too.
Extra
Always
time,
helpful.
bonus time. It's great. Hey, thanks for all the great work, you guys. This has been great to see the evolutions in progress. And I tell you, the communities that are going to eat this up, they're just going to love this. It's exactly what they need. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, check out climate resilient communities. Look them up, Aaron.
Yeah, I want to check that out.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you've really seen
They're
our whole.
evolving to 11 climate change community teams from Burlingame down to Gilroy. Right now they have 4. And so this provides the network, an infrastructure network, to really do this at the neighborhood level. It's
This
exciting.
is really cool.
Yeah, I'll send you. They've got a. I sent all this to Tibet. So he's got the 3-year strategic plan of what they want to do. And this is also part of the Bay Delta Bioregional Trust Project. We're an official pilot program for that. I did that.
Cool.
I was doing that with Lawrence Gradeska. We set that up
Yeah,
for a couple of years.
he's
So
such a
it's
cool guy.
frontline communities doing the work, the stewardship, it's just super exciting. So
Very, very cool.
yeah.
Well, I'm just so glad to hear you're still doing amazing work, and like you've really seen our whole journey. I
I
don't
know.
know. Yasmin, you were at Cospiracy, right?
No, I wasn't there.
No, you weren't there. Well, Chris actually led a democratic process during that event.
Wow.
And
I would say that loosely, but that's
and
okay.
this was for those who are here, this was long before we started working on Hilo. Or not
Yeah.
that long, actually, maybe a year before. And at this event, everyone was like, "We need software. We need software that does X, Y, and Z." And here we are 6 years later
What a
with
great
Wow.
response.
finally
You
getting
met
there.
exactly what the community asked for. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's awesome.
it took a while. It took a
This
while.
is this is the breakthrough time, though. I mean, it's meeting the community where the community's got a lot of resources, but they need this. I mean, right now, there's nothing that CRC has that you can click on and it says what any of the climate change community teams does. They have nothing.
Yeah,
It's just a map with fixed dots. And internally, it's just email. So this is a breakthrough for them. This is
yeah,
huge. Yeah,
yeah.
it's huge.
Well, we're here to help. So
Yeah, I'm talking about it too with Tibet to go deeper. I know we need to get a budget to hire you guys to come in and actually do it right. So we have professional support, so they're not just winging it, but you can take your best knowledge, your best lessons. So think about what a budget would look like to have your team help get these guys off the ground. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's what it will take.
And there's also, we're working on educational resources so that, obviously we have the sort of community stewardship expertise that we can offer as a service, but we also want to really empower groups who may not have a big budget through educational tools, just to be like, here's how to do it, how to manage a community. Because honestly, the number one thing is not the technology. It's
Yeah.
not, you could be on Mighty Networks or
Yep.
Discord or whatever. If you don't have good stewardship, the community is not going to go anywhere. Um, and yeah, so I think we're going to release that soon. I know
That's it.
Christian and
That's it.
Yasmin have
Yeah,
been working
yeah,
on it.
I agree. I mean, there's a lot of community gardens in East Palo Alto that all of the 4x8 redwood planter beds are growing some amazing stuff, but you can't eat any of it. It's weeds. But there's a bountiful crop this year. And so I
Yeah,
drive by all these community gardens and how do you steward it? How do you manage it? How do you
yeah,
actually have the
yeah,
expertise? Yeah.
yeah.
And so do you guys know anybody at Emerson Collective? Do you have any
No,
contacts
I
in
don't
there?
know that name. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Laureen Pal Jobs organization.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Wow.
she's got the 47 acres of land in East Palo Alto.
Oh,
Bloom
yeah,
House
yeah.
is
Yeah, I've heard about this.
yeah,
Yeah.
she donated the community garden, so it's on its 1 year anniversary. But what they're doing and the organizations that keep showing up, every single one of them could use Hylo. Every single one of them. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's tell them.
Yeah, and they're all on that list. Like I said, I sent Tibet the stuff. And yeah, thanks so much, you guys. Really I love
Yeah.
connecting with you. I keep thinking about us being out at the mushroom farm, how amazing
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
gathering was. And
Let's
I
do it
remember that was
again.
that record May rain where we had all that rain came in May.
Yeah.
We could use that again.
Yeah. Jeff, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Uh, Hello. Yes, I wanted to I'm so sorry I came in late. I couldn't get in. Initially, I was looking and it kept going, sending me to registration, and it was a
Oh,
little
bummer.
frustrating
Sorry
until I
about that.
found the right email with the right link. And and I've been very excited to see this meeting. I am aware of what about Hilo since Edward West,
Yeah.
about, I don't know, what, 10, 15, 12 years ago. And I was one of the first ones who started a conversation about what a holonic structure is.
Yeah.
I've been working for 25 years extending Ken Wilber's Aqual framework. And finally, I'm ready to bring into the world what I have developed. And I have a video that is a video done by Claude on an analysis report that I did about how Hylo is compatible with all the frameworks that I have been doing. I'm going to send that to you, Jasmine, and because I have a proposition. I have a proposition for turning, and I have talked to this to Tibet before, about turning Hylo in the platform that transform the non-profit versus the for-profit conflicts or whatever into a new sector called the profit within purpose sector, which is completely perfect for what you're doing. And I've always seen Halo is that this is the Facebook for us who are emerging into this new level, new kind of ecological civilization, or and this holonic infrastructure. I'm familiar with Arthur and Eric and Holochain, and I intend to use all that. So I'm super excited to bring this forth. Again, I just wanted you to understand that what I'm sending you, Jasmine, is a video again done by Claude, done by not with of a report that I did with Claude, and being an analysis of how Hylo and my frameworks are in total compatibility.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
So let's go to the next step. Let's really
can you share it in building Hylo? I would love to for the
sure,
community to see it too.
Sure. I'll
you might have to upload it to YouTube first. I'm not quite sure what format it is.
Yeah. I can.
That'd be amazing.
Ready to do that, and then this is very, very exciting, and I have been anticipating, but I had to make it. Well, I couldn't make it without AI assistance because of the abstraction, but now the clarity is absolutely, mind-boggling, and it's perfect for you guys. You won the prize on N10 for the platform for the nonprofits just now, right? Perfect. Yeah, and it's time for all of us imaginal selves who are being emerging in completely different ways and there's so many initiatives calling us to come together in different places. Now the place is going to be what we're going to do together.
May it be so.
Truly recognize it. It's incredible. You'll see. Hopefully.
And Jeff, we'll post the community call on YouTube as well, so you can watch if you wanted to watch what transpired today.
Yeah. Okay, I appreciate that, and well, looking forward to what I anticipate is going to be something really, really taking us to the next level. Everybody, a new kind of work into it, a new kind of collaboration, which I call more co-realization, beyond collaboration. It's realizing together, realizing truly together, what we all need, and I mean us, humanity needs to create this conveyor belt into the next level of civilization for us, humanity. Looking forward to starting that journey. It's going to be exciting.
Yay.
Thank you.
Many blessings all. Good to see you all.
Good to see you all. Bye,
Good to see
everyone.
you, Chris.
Yes. Thanks, Kim.
Aaron, see you soon.
See you very soon. Bye.
Bye.